All right, good morning, everybody. I'm Brandon Crow, Communications Coordinator with Canada's National Junior Team this year, and I'd like to welcome you here to the TELUS Harbour as we get set to announce Canada's training camp roster ahead of the 2026 IIHF World Junior Hockey Championship. First off, a big thank you to one of Hockey Canada's premier partners, TELUS, for providing this beautiful venue to host today's press conference. Your staff has been incredibly accommodating on very short notice, and we appreciate everything you've done for us. I'd also like to thank Hockey Canada's premier partners, TSN RDS, Tim Hortons, and Esso, and we look forward to working with you on the road to the World Juniors. Today we will unveil our roster that will begin training camp later this week in Niagara Falls at the Gale Centre as we take our first steps in the journey to Minneapolis and St. Paul for the 50th anniversary of the greatest junior hockey tournament in the world. In terms of pre-tournament, there will be 2 games played here in Canada before the team travels to the United States. December 17th in Kitchener against Sweden, December 20th in London, also against Sweden, and then the team will head down to Minnesota and take on Denmark on December 23rd at the University of Mankato for the final pre-tournament game. I'd now like to call up Christopher Sagan from the Canadian Hockey League, Media Relations Manager, to provide an opening statement in French.
Thank you, Brandon. Merci, Brandon. Bonjour, je m'appelle Christopher Séguin, gestionnaire des relations médias de la Ligue canadienne de hockey. Au nom de Hockey Canada et de la LCH, bienvenue au TELUS Harbour alors que nous annonçons la formation du camp d'entraînement d'équipe Canada en vue du championnat mondial junior 2026 de la IIHF. D'abord, un grand merci à l'un des grands partenaires de Hockey Canada, TELUS, pour nous avoir offert ce magnifique site pour l'annonce d'aujourd'hui. Votre équipe a été extrêmement accommodante, à très court préavis, et nous en sommes très reconnaissants. Nous tenons également à souligner les partenaires principaux de Hockey Canada, TSN, RDS, Tim Hortons et Esso. Nous avons bien hâte de travailler en étroite collaboration avec vous sur la route vers le Mondial Junior. Aujourd'hui, Hockey Canada dévoilera la formation qui amorcera son camp d'entraînement plus tard cette semaine à Niagara Falls et entreprendra ainsi ses premiers pas vers Minneapolis et Saint-Paul, alors que nous célébrons le 50e anniversaire du plus prestigieux tournoi de hockey junior au monde. Merci encore de votre présence aujourd'hui et au plaisir de vous voir à Minnesota. Merci.
Thank you, Chris. I'd like to thank the Canadian Hockey League and all their member clubs for their continued support of Hockey Canada's program of excellence. I'd also like to give those of you a little bit of information in regards to training camp before we get to the announcement. The training camp at the Gale Centre, we're fortunate to have some staff from the Gale Centre here today. So thank you on behalf of Hockey Canada for your work and support in allowing our team to move into your facility and basically take over for a period of time as we prepare for this tournament. The practice schedule is available at hockeycanada.ca. All practices are open to the public as well, so fans are in the Niagara region are able to come to the Gale Centre and watch practice and watch us on our journey to Minnesota. I've got to kill 60 seconds, according to Mark Masters. I'll introduce the head table for those of you that don't know. To my immediate left is the general manager of the national junior team, Mr. Alan Miller. To his left is the U20 management group lead for the program of excellence, Mark Hunter. And to his left, the head coach of Canada's national junior team, Mr. Dale Hunter. We will hear from those guys shortly, and we'll open up the floor to question and answer period as well in just a few minutes. This isn't as easy to kill time as it looked like it, Mark.
Tell a joke.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, Mark.
Use your skills, Crow.
Yeah. 30 seconds. Well, I apologize for the timing. 30 seconds. Once again, just thank you to our premier partners, TELUS, Esso, Tim Hortons. They've done a great job in helping us prepare for the World Juniors, and we'll be a part of the journey all the way to Minnesota as well. 10 seconds. There we go. Thanks, James. I'd like to welcome James Duthie in the panel and those of you watching on TSN here today. At this time, I'd like to once again reintroduce the head table. For those of you that don't know, I'm Brandon Crow, Communications Coordinator with Canada's national junior team. To my left is the general manager of Canada's national junior team, Alan Miller. To his left is Mark Hunter. He's the U20 management group lead for the Program of Excellence. And to his left, Dale Hunter, the head coach of Canada's national junior team. At this time, I think it's safe to say we can unveil the secret that everyone has been waiting for, and we will officially announce our training camp roster presented by TELUS.
This holiday season in Minnesota,
Can you believe it?
Team Canada looking to recapture gold.
It's on the line, received and established. Kent Johnson, a golden goal in Canada. Golden goal in Halifax. Canada's won back-to-back World Junior Gold Medal.
And this is the Canadian roster that will begin the journey to the 2026 World Junior Championship. The goaltenders from Thunder Bay, Ontario and the Owen Sound Attack, Carter George. From Mississauga, Ontario and the University of Michigan, Jack Ivankovic. And from North Vancouver, British Columbia and the Prince George Cougars, Joshua Ravensbergen. On defense, from Toronto, Ontario and the Barrie Colts, Kayshawn Aitchison. From Calgary, Alberta and the Pittsburgh Penguins, Harrison Brunick. From Cypress River, Manitoba and the Prince George Cougars, Carson Carls. From Madoc, Ontario and the Brantford Bulldogs, Ben Danford. From West Kelowna, British Columbia and the Edmonton Oil Kings, Ethan McKenzie. From Nobleton, Ontario and the Calgary Flames, Zane Perrett. From Elmer, Ontario and the Kitchener Rangers, Cameron Reed. From Calgary, Alberta and Penn State University, Jackson Smith. And from Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta and the University of North Dakota, Keaton Verhoff. Representing the forwards, from West St. Paul, Manitoba and the Everett Silvertips, Carter Bear. From Canada, Ontario and the Barrie Colts, Cole Baudouin. From Sherwood Park, Alberta and the Seattle Thunderbirds, Braden Coots. From St. Hyacinthe, Quebec and the Moncton Wildcats, Caleb Denwaye. From Oshawa, Ontario and the Windsor Spitfires, Liam Greentree. From Mississauga, Ontario and the University of Michigan, Michael Hage. From Lake Country, British Columbia and the Kelowna Rockets, Tej Aginla. From London, Ontario and the Brantford Bulldogs, Jet Luchenko. From Elmira, Ontario and the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, Brady Martin. From Peterborough, Ontario and Michigan State University, Porter Martone. From Whitehorse, Yukon Territory and Penn State University, Gavin McKenna. From Oakville, Ontario and the San Jose Sharks, Michael Misa. From Toronto, Ontario and the Brantford Bulldogs, Jake O'Brien. Also from Toronto, Ontario and the London Knights, Sam O'Reilly. And from Macklin, Saskatchewan and the University of North Dakota, Cole Reshny. This is the Canadian roster that will begin the journey to the 2026 World Junior Championship.
Thank you to our partners at TSN for putting together that excellent video as we unveil our roster. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Alan Miller to provide an opening statement on behalf of Hockey Canada.
Great, thanks, Kroll, and to everyone here, appreciate your attendance and thanks for being here. First off, just a shout out and a huge thank you to Mark and Dale Hunter for their work, their leadership, and their commitment to our program and the national junior team. And That certainly leads into my next point. Mark and Dale, as owners, head coach, and manager, acknowledge our partnership with the Canadian Hockey League. And I want to thank the management and the owners in the CHL for their support of our national programs. It's not only players that come from the CHL, it's our staff, our coaches, athletic therapists, equipment managers, team doctors. The best people in the CHL work with us in our national teams, and we appreciate that partnership. And I'd like to acknowledge Dan McKenzie, the president of the CHL here today, and Brian Crawford, the commissioner of the Ontario Hockey League. Thanks for being here, gentlemen. As part of our partnership in the CHL, I'd like to recognize some people in our management group and CHL GM committees that play an integral role in player evaluations as we put national teams together. Obviously, Mark at the under-20 level, Yannick Lemay, the general manager of the Drummondville Voltigeurs, is our management group lead with our under-18 program, and Mike Johnson, the president and general manager of the Portland Wienerhawks, is our management group liaison with our under-17 program. We also have GM committees in our 3 leagues in the Quebec Maritime Junior Hockey League. Jim Hulton, the GM and head coach of Charlottetown, Cam Russell, the GM of Halifax, and Serge Beausoleil, the GM of Gatineau Olympique. In the OHL, our GM committee consisted of James Boyd. James will have to replace you on that committee as you've moved on and is now the vice president of hockey operations in the Ontario Hockey League. And I'd also like to acknowledge James as a 2-time World Junior Champion as part of our management group in 22 and 23. Dave Brown, the GM of the Erie Otters, and Dave Drinkle, the GM of the Saginaw Spirit, sit on our OHL GM committee. And in the Western Hockey League, Mike Fraser, the GM of the Everett Silvertips, Curtis Hunt, the GM of the Prince Albert Raiders, and Kurt Hill, the general manager of the Edmonton All Kings. To all those gentlemen, thanks for all your work and your support in evaluating players for our national teams. Today we unveiled a roster of 27 players, 3 goaltenders, 9 defensemen, and 15 forwards. I'd like to congratulate all 27 players on being named to our pre-competition roster for the national junior team. With 27 players in mind, as we go through our process in Niagara Falls at camp, we will have 3 players to release, 1 goaltender, 1 defenseman, and 1 forward as we go through our camp. I do want to acknowledge that there were very tough decisions, very good players not named, and on that note, we won't comment on any players that weren't named today, and we won't comment on any individuals currently playing in the NHL who remain eligible to play on our team. I'd also like to thank the Pittsburgh Penguins, the San Jose Sharks, and the Calgary Flames for loaning Harrison Bernicki, Michael Misa, and Zane Parikh to our team. We will continue to communicate with NHL teams right up to the 22nd to see the availability of any players, and that'll be a process that those teams will take right up till the 20th before they make a decision to loan any other players to our team. Few comments I just want to make on behalf of Mark and Byron Benora, our head scout, and input from our coaches in terms of our team build, our selection process, what we value, what's important, what we prioritize through the process. And again, I want to thank Mark and Byron for their work through a thorough process. Couple comments. First off, it's not an all-star team. We have to build what is really a true team. Part of that is understanding the level. The World Junior Championships is hard. It's hard to win. There is a type of player and a type of person that you need to help you win at this level. As a group, you need to have a vision and a mindset of what you need when it's the hardest, when you're playing those most important games. When it's tough, when you're going through adversity, you have to have a vision of what it looks like to play a top team in the quarterfinal, the semifinal, in a gold medal game, and what do you need to be successful. We build our team around skill, speed, smart and sense, and compete. We prioritize hard skill over soft skill. Players that are only good with time and space, play on the perimeter, don't compete, don't help you win. We want players that play hard, get on the inside, finish their checks, go to the net, get into the hard areas. There are players that produce points and have success offensively, but you can't trust them to help you win at this level. You also need different types of players. Size matters, special teams, details in the game, two-way, matchups, complete players, players you trust, those intangibles that are invaluable, face-offs, block shots. You have to have a balance between what you have and what you need in those final roster decisions. We talk about performance when it matters. When do players perform? Do they perform when it's hard or do they perform when it's easy? Home and away, special teams, quality of opponent, game score. Those things have value to us as we make our final decisions. We trust the process. Under 17, under 18, a number of our players have history in our programs. What they do, their experience and their success with their club teams. It's a process that spans back 2-3 years, not only what recent performances look like in the past weeks or months. And finally, when we're evaluating players, we are fortunate to be able to evaluate the top young players in the country. They're all good players. They can all skate. They all have skill. They all have talent. But what separates them from being here or not? What value do we put most in those final decisions? Character. We want players that put team first, role acceptance, they're coachable, humility. We want hockey sense. We want smart players. Players that lack hockey sense traditionally only hurt a team. And we want compete. Non-competitive players will never help you win. And finally, we always ask one question at the end: how do you help us win? And that's what it's all about. So finally, some general thoughts on our group before I turn it back to Crow and then to Mark. I believe this is a talented group, lots of skill, lots of history of production. The core group of this team has good international experience and has had success. We've won the last 3 under-17 World Hockey Challenges, we've won the last 2 under-18 World Championships, and we've won 2 of the last 3 under-18 Hlinka Gretzky's with a lot of players on this roster that have been part of those successful programs. I believe we have a smart group, we have good depth, we have a group that plays with details. We have a group that we can trust to play the right way. Strong group with depth, and there's more tough decisions to come. We certainly like the flexibility and the versatility in the players that we have on our roster. Again, thanks to everybody for being here, and appreciate the support, and I'll turn it back to Kroll.
Thanks, Alan. On behalf of the management group, I'll just ask Mark Hunter to say a few words.
Well, thanks, everybody. Nice to see everybody here. You know what? I'd like to thank Hockey Canada and Dale and myself to give us the opportunity to be involved with this prestigious tournament. And so it's something that we're very excited about to represent Canada. And you know, dealing with Scott and Al, it's been great relationship. I think we're all working together. I think, which is important. And it's been a good process of picking the players. It's tough decisions because there's good players out there. As Al talked about, you know, we look at you know, the speed, skill, and grit. It's something that we want a part of Canada. That's the players that we expect to how to play. And you know, I think it's important that you know, as ourselves and the players don't get ahead of themselves. We've got to have being hopeful and humble, and I think that's kind of be our model, to making sure we keep our feet on the ground and understand what we need to do to win games. And of course, to win games, it's team play. It's not individuals, and we got to create a team here, and that's from the coaching staff and Al, myself, and Scott, and make sure we can hopefully win a championship. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. And lastly, on behalf of the coaching staff, I'd ask Dale to say a few words.
Welcome, everybody here. Again, me and Mark appreciate the Team Canada here. It's an opportunity where we're proud of our country, and we want to win. And that's what we got to instill. It's a privilege and to coach, just like it's a privilege to play. And to pick these kids out, like, it's tough because we have a lot of good players. We got a good program right from minor hockey all the way up. There was tough choices to make, and Al and Mark was scouted. Had been 3 months of it, and it's a lot of traveling, but they came up with the best players to help us win. So as far as coaches, we got good players to deal with. Now we got to get them to play as a team, and it's most important thing as a team. You have their skill, and you have their skill, speed, everything, but you got to play with structure. If you have no structure in your game, you will not win. And structure is playing, doing the right thing for the team. Sometimes you got to pull out of a situation, play a defensive side of the game, and when to go and when not to go. And structure is important. Plus discipline, guys. And we talk about it a lot all the time. I think every coach talks about discipline. And we have to be disciplined out there. There's rules, and you got to follow the rules. And the kids that we started right from the summer camp talking about rules. We got to we got to play with them. You got to play hard, but you got to play fair. And so we're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to it. It's not like it's 40 kids coming in. It's right down to our team. So we go right into our first practice is doing 5-on-5, neutral zone, PP, PK. So it's so we can be more prepared to start on the 26th and 3 exhibition games. So coaching staff is looking forward to it. So we can get right into the bases of our team right away. Thank you.
Thanks, Dale. My colleague Jacob has a microphone. I know it's just more so for the recording of the question. So if you want to just throw your hand up, flag Jacob, and then just make sure you say your name, your outlet, and who your question is for.
Mark Masters, TSN. Alan, Dale just alluded to it, but how much does it change the dynamic to start with a smaller group, and when are you hoping to be down to your final group?
Well, we had a lot of discussions about the camp structure and how we were moving forward here, and the continuing thought was we wanted to prioritize preparation over more evaluations and more player selection. And within our new structure, with a full-time general manager and promoting Byron Bernard to head scout of the program of excellence, not only under 17, but to be involved in under 18 and under 20 as well, and then to have Mark involved. We just felt that we could do the work in advance, have a smaller group. It was our goal to name our roster leading into Niagara Falls, but just with some injuries, the number of players in the National Hockey League, there was a lot of moving parts. We decided to bring, and some guys are pushing, we decided to bring an extra goalie, an extra D, and an extra forward to get these players in front of Dale and the coaches, and at the end of the day, Dale can have a significant say in terms of who those final pieces are. But Mark, it was all about better preparation and more time for the coaches to get ready for the tournament.
Ryan Kennedy with the Hockey News. A question for Mark. You've known Dale longer than anybody. Why do you think he is such an effective junior coach?
I think his mannerisms, I think he understands where to push, how to push. There's no in your face, out of control coach. He's under control. I think it's underrated and it's not talked about enough. His bench, he puts guys in situations to be successful, which I think is very important. Of course, the last is, he's demanding on the structure and making sure. And the last one is play as a team.
Just quickly, there were 2 dates, the 20th and the 22nd. What's the cutoff for the NHL players to be released, should they be released?
Sam, we're working with those NHL teams on to know by the 20th. Now there's a little bit of flexibility, a day or two. Essentially, Sam, we're working towards having our team on the plane when we leave for Minneapolis the night of the 22nd. And sorry, I missed that answer, Mark, with your original question. So,
Questions? Anybody else?
Ryan Kennedy from the Hockey News again. A question for Dale. What do you enjoy the most about coaching at the junior level, like coaching this age group?
It's development and about the kids. They're trying to get there, and I coach in the National Hockey League, and they're already seasoned. They know what they have there. But as juniors, they come in at 16 and 17 years old. They're young, and it's the teenage years, and it's important years, and just not in hockey, in life too. So, we're all been parents, so it's like raising your kids all over again, and. So it keeps you young. It keeps you young. You're dealing with teenagers, and it's fun being around them.
Yeah, Sam Cosentino, Sportsnet again, Mark, and I guess Dale, even you, Alan, for as long as you've been around. Like, what gives you the juice here to keep going? What gets you fired up?
Go ahead, Mark.
You know, we love the game. Love the being competitive and understand, winning, and you never stop loving winning. So that's something why we're here, is to win here in this tournament. So that's our goals. So.
John Chidley Hill, the Canadian Press. This question's for Dale. You mentioned the importance of structure. How much does it help that a lot of these guys have played together on Canadian teams and that there might be a pre-existing structure that they're familiar with?
Yes, it is, and there's structures there. I've watched the kids play in the different tournaments at 18 and 17, and you can see the kids playing a system and buying by it. To win, you just don't happen to win with the best players. You win with good players playing the right structure, and you could see it through the years that they won championships here and at the international level, and it's because of their structure. And then you get to see also who plays well together. Like, there's always a chemistry, they played well in the Lincoln tournament together, so it gives me more ideas who to play with and who's not.
Anybody else? Questions? Last call. There will be an opportunity for some one-on-ones with these three gentlemen as well. Just flag myself or Jacob down upon the official closing of the formal portions of this. That being said, thanks again for attending. Just a couple of important notes. As I said, training camp begins the first on-ice session Saturday at the Gale Center in Niagara Falls. Sessions are open to the public. The schedule is available at hockeycanada.ca. Reminder of the two games in Canada, Kitchener and London on the 17th and the 20th against Sweden before we depart down south. So again, thank you to TELUS for hosting us here today. Thanks to all of you for making time today, and we'll see you in Minnesota.